Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back in to JRL Golf Academy. In this episode, I had George Gankas, Gigi, talking, well, as Gigi would talk. And we talked about everything and anything you can think of. It's absolutely hilarious, as only Gigi can pull it off. Thanks again for viewing and coming into JRL Golf Academy.
What up, bro?
How
you doing?
The man, the myth, the legend is in the house. Mr.
How you doing,
George
buddy?
Gankas.
What's new?
What's cracking, dude?
You're cracking, bro. I'm just chilling. I've been kicked off 4 courses now this week.
There you go.
So I'm trying to actually. I was trying to get in some golf when we're just sitting around, but nothing's working. You know.
Who kicked which courses? If you want to name them.
I don't mind naming them. We got kicked off by the cops. So the first one was we went to Sunset.
Okay.
And we played there for a few days. No one was out. And then the cops came out, says, you guys got to get off. Then we went to River Ridge, played a few times, and they kicked us off like 2 days ago. Then we went to Wood Ranch, kicked us off. And now we just got kicked off today at my home course, Westlake Golf Course.
4 for 4, baby.
4 for 4. Johnny and I were out there, hitting some wedge shots from like 30 to 70 yards, 20 to 70, and just doing competition with like 6 balls, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70. And he's like, dude, somebody called from off the freeway. They don't want to be playing golf. I was like, come on. You can walk in groups. You can walk in groups, but you can't play golf. You can't hit balls.
Like legit, the cops came?
Yeah, every time, all 4.
Really? Mm-hmm. What do they do? Just like, hey, get out of here?
Every one of them has been cool. But all sorry, bro, we got to do it. It's policy. I know you're just chilling, and it is what it is.
Damn.
I'm cool with it. We get off.
They're even shutting down the G-man, dude. What's up with that?
At my home course, just to hit some chip shots and pitch shots.
Oh my God, dude!
Well, the cops didn't come at Westlake. The owner over there, or not the owner, but the GM over there, Chris. You know Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is cool.
Yeah.
He's like, I know, it sucks. There's nothing to do. So I've been hitting balls in my neighbors' backyards and stuff. It's cool.
Somebody told me the other day, they're like, dude, I'm tired of hitting in this net. I go, well, dude, just move the net and see what it does.
Yeah, no shit. It's fucking crazy. So what's up with you? Everything good? What have you been doing during the day?
Well, I just been doing all these shows on Live with Leary. I'm stoked to have you on here finally. And just been having a bunch of coaches from around the world coming on, and then we put it on YouTube on the JRL Golf Academy, and we get to continue to watch your greatness, all you teachers. So
cool. Good for you. You enjoying it?
I've been enjoying it somehow. If you would ask me 3 weeks ago if I was going to be a host of some show, I'd have given you the
snitches get stitches. You're right, bro. This guy just texted, hey, Phil, what up?
That's right.
So what are we doing today?
This is what we're going to do. This is what I want to do. Everybody knows what you do, Don, right? You're all over the world now. And everybody kind of knows, they like your patterns and all that stuff. And
Bob Barker. What's up, Bob Grissett? What?
Bobby G's in the house. But,
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. I wanted to take it a little different way. And
what
I wanted to do was something that, I've known you for, longer than I want to, mention.
We probably have known each other since 2000, huh?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Around there from Danny LaCursey.
Yep, that's right, from Danny LaCursey. Shout out to Danny LaCursey.
Delicious.
But what I wanted to do was, I've got questions about you, and I bet you other people don't know about you. And kind of this would be a sort of an interview about getting to know G. You know what I mean? Not necessarily like we know the golf swing, dude. We've seen what you do, and we love it. But I want to talk about you personally.
Okay. I don't know how interesting that's going to be, but let's do it.
All right, dude. Let's start with this. What ethnicity are you?
I'm Greek.
You're Greek, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm half mutt. I don't know. It's on my mom's side. They all got around.
Don't blame it on mom like that, dude.
Yeah, her side got around for sure. And then my dad just got around.
All right, dude. Where did you grow up?
Well, aren't you gonna ask me if my wife's the same as you?
No, dude, chill out. We'll get there.
We
We'll
got,
get
oh,
there.
we getting the Filipinos.
Hey, it's my show, dog. My show.
Let's do this.
Where did you grow up?
Jacob Lusk says, "What up? What up, Lusker?" I grew up originally. I was born in Oxnard in the
Okay.
Nard, and
I didn't
then
know that.
my parents split up when I was 7, or 4, and so I ended up moving to Santa Barbara. So I moved to IV.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went to IV, like Isla Vista Elementary, went to, I forgot what, junior high, La Colina, and then I went to San Marcos in Santa Barbara. So I grew up in Santa Barbara all the way through high school.
That's a rad place. For the people tuning in, Santa Barbara is one of the raddest places. That's like San Diego of the North.
You know what's funny is it is, and I didn't like it when I was there. I didn't dislike it. I didn't know the beauty behind it. I just was like, whatever. You know, and then I go back there and I'm all, this place is the best. Why ever leave?
So you grew up there till like high school, you said?
Yeah, till high school.
And then where do you go to college?
I ended up, because I was going to wrestle in college.
Really?
And so as soon as I decided, because I got like addicted to golf, I ended up, instead of going to wrestle to college, I ended up going to junior college for 2 years, at Ventura College, junior college. And then after I went to Ventura College, I walked on at Cal State Northridge, and I actually won the tryouts. There's like 60 people, and so I won the tryouts. So they ended up giving me a partial scholarship for Bracken, and
Nice.
played 2 years there, and we had a pretty solid team. I was actually, the first year I was there, I was the worst player on the team. And then the second year, well, because they were top 20 in the country too. And then, yeah, absolutely. They had Bob Burns, Jeff Sanday, Corby Siegel. God, they had
Those were the guys on your team, dude?
Tony Boardwell. Yeah, we had some good players, and we had a
Those
couple
are
other
studs.
Yeah, no shit. It was a solid team. We were top. I believe, I don't want somebody to come back and go, no, we weren't. I believe we were top 30 in the country, maybe 25 when I was there. Yeah.
Holy smokes! I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then the next year, you know what's funny is it was God, I'm drawing a blank on my partners. Colin Morikawa's coach. God, I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Rick Sessinghouse.
Rick Sessinghouse. Sessinghouse is dope. Yeah, I know Sess. So Sess, I see him all the time on tour now, but he and I were 1 and 2 the next year at Cal State Northridge, which is kind of random.
You and Sessinghouse?
Yeah, he was pretty decent. He was good.
No, I know he was good. I didn't really.
I think he might have been. I think he was better than me in college until probably about a couple years when I started playing a lot. That's when I started getting better, because I was so new. I started when I was 18.
Okay.
I started late. I didn't play junior golf.
So, dude, you were playing on this college team like you'd only been playing maybe 3 years?
When I played junior college, it was like my first year of playing, and I like legit. I didn't make the team the first year, but I was already shooting in the mid 70s after a year playing. And then by the next year, I was, scratch or better by my second year, and I was playing at junior college, Ventura College, and then I got MVP there. And then that's when I walked down to Northridge after 2 years.
Holy crap.
And my swing was garbage, and it's still not the best, but it was super garbage back then. But
so what did you do?
I played 36 a day. I mean, that's what everybody, that's what you did. I know how good you were, or you still are. But back in the day, to accelerate my process, I had to play because I was so behind.
That's wild, dude. I guarantee you a lot of people that are watching right now have no clue about that.
How quick I got good at golf. It was weird but I was an addict. I was watching we didn't have really YouTube, so I was drawing on my dad's TV screen back when I was like 18, like trying to figure out lines, reading David Ledbetter's book, trying to figure out what playing meant and all the rest. I was just like an addict, play every day. I had a bunch of my boys that played, so we had a good time.
So that's just kind of, that's indicative a little bit of like how your brain just works, right?
Yeah, well, I would say I'm a pretty decent athlete. So being a pretty decent athlete, things came pretty easy, but golf came really hard. It was very, very difficult for me. So And I think it is because, you know, I saw David Ledbetter stuff and I want to be mechanical. I want to be perfect. And that, I mean, that fucked me up, to be honest. He didn't fuck me up, but I fucked myself up by looking at all this stuff and going, okay, I'm trying to be perfect and all this. And to me, if I was just an athlete and I saw ball patterns, that's when I played my best golf. And I still do, but I still get caught up in the fact that, hey, I should get this a little bit better because it's going to be better. But in the long run, I would always wonder how good I would have been if I never looked at my golf swing.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Just to play golf.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We probably all would have been a little better, but now with the technology and the better info we have now, there's no, I mean, you'd be way better with the coach nowadays. A million times better. But in our day, with just ball flight alone, we probably would have been a lot better off just playing golf.
Man, I looked at a swing of mine from like 96, and I used to take a little in, and I come out a little bit, but I hit this like perfect little cut. And
dude, you hit the ball good.
I hit it hard, and I you know, whatever. It is what it is, right?
And you tinker with your swing all the time too.
Yeah, dude. I'm guilty. We all are, right?
That's why we're coaches now.
That's right, dude. That's right. So, hey, tell me this: your dad was a bodybuilder.
He was a bodybuilder, yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, dude.
He was all juiced out. No, I'm kidding. He was big, bro. But back then they all did juice. He was huge. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you see my arms, shit, it was like, I mean, he was big chest, big legs, big ass. Like, dude, he did. I mean, that's what he did. Yeah. And then my stepmom, she was a bodybuilder too. She didn't take juice though, but she did like amateur, and she was pretty gnarly too. She's pretty badass. Yeah, they still look good for their age. My dad's 75 now, and my stepmom, he robbed the cradle. She's like 55, and my real mom's 74, 75.
He said he robbed the cradle.
Oh hell yeah, he did.
That a boy, G.
For sure. So yeah, they were both bodybuilders, and my dad was he was a football coach for 25, 30 years and a PE teacher, and you know he played college football at Arizona State, U of A, Northern Arizona, all the college, because he got kicked out of all of them.
Did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was a quarterback and a cornerback back then. So he was an athlete.
All right. Hey, real quick, I gotta ask you, how's your knee? I saw that thing that you posted earlier.
The crippler.
Yeah, dude.
This guy Billy Bale shows me this jump. He's sitting on his knees and he jumps up on his foot. And you know, me being a wrestler, that's all we ever did is we were on all fours and we just jump up real quick and we try and get away. But the fact is, I jumped up and then I did the crippler because I used to do that when I was a kid, and obviously I ain't a kid anymore. Shit didn't feel too good.
I was wondering how you were walking after that, dude. It looked. I was like, you're right, dude. You're right.
That's some funny shit.
Oh my god, dude. So we found out that you were a very quick study of the game, right? Obviously.
Well, you know, like I said, it's funny because. Okay, so here's the way I learn, and everyone's different. Like, you get some kids that are real quick, and they pick it up right away, and you're like, this guy's going to be good. But they don't have any drive. They have no drive. They're like, they're just good. And then you get a kid that's not coordinated, and for some reason, he finally picks it up, and he starts getting better and better and better. And then you get a kid who's pretty coordinated, but they take longer to register in the brain. I was that kid, to me. I legit... If it was a dance move, because my next door neighbor was a hip hopper, which is funny. Okay. And so he'd teach me all these dance moves. That's how I learned the crip walk. That's how I learned. I learned a bunch of stupid shit. So he would tell me to do like turn my feet like this and like this. And I have a million different like little things that he'd teach me. Right. But I was so slow at it. He'd be like, no, it's this easy. And I'd be like, And so it took me a long time. But once I got it, I was better than him at it. And that was weird to me. I was like, shit, this is fun. So then I get the rhythm in. So in golf, motion takes me longer to get. People are like, dude, you make that look easy. No, it ain't easy for me. Yeah. It's very, very difficult for me personally. But once I get emotion, I got it. It's done. I just have to transfer it from my brain to my muscle memory and mix those together and then feel it go slow. There's a process for me personally. And no, everybody isn't the same way I am. And I'm sure you're not. Some things come easier and some come a lot harder. Yeah. But once I got a motion, I was the same way in wrestling. Someone taught me to shoot in. I was terrible, but once I got it, it was boom. No one could stop it. But it started, everybody could stop it. It was bad. You know what I mean?
That's pretty interesting. You know, like I think people are getting sort of like you know, that we see you all the time on the gram and stuff like that. But, you know, it's hard to get to know where you come from a little bit and probably how you teach things and how you learn things. So did you ever try to play professionally?
I did actually play professionally, but I didn't go to Q school like you and have the lead at second and do what you did. Does anybody else know that? I won't tell them any stories.
You got crash and burn, dog.
So here's the deal. If I would have done it, I would have been 27, 28, because I was caddying then and just starting to teach when I was about 28, and I'm 49 now. So it was a while ago, and I wasn't that good then. I started getting good when I was about 34, 35 was when I started getting, pretty decent. And at 27, 28, I just knew I wasn't good enough, and I was caddying at Sherwood, but I was also competing, playing Golden States, Pepsis, and I was winning them, but I just knew personally, you can tell if you're not good enough, and I knew I wasn't good enough. Yeah. And then I started teaching, and then I'd play with my buddies and play with my players and then I played some tournaments, and I was winning, and I was like, shit, I should try this. But then my business was going good, so I was caught in between that. But to be really, really honest, like legit, I just was a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer, and now I'd like to play some professional golf later on, like Champions Tour stuff. I'd like to try it.
Let's do it.
Well, I'm not very sharp right now. I've been shooting par when I go out.
That's all right.
I haven't been playing as good as I'd like, but I'm hitting the ball really good, and I'm putting like shit. So I got to get my shit together, but I'm not getting any reps in. So the fact is I feel like if we can start playing some golf, I could get my shit together and shoot some good numbers again. But you know, competitive golf's a whole different story. Those guys have been playing forever, so I'm not acting like I'm going to go out there and kill the world. But I would like to, just for my own personal, you know,
just to say you did it in your lifetime. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, for personal growth, for sure. I'd like to get better whenever I do.
Yeah, dude, you don't want to have any regrets in life. You don't be like, dang, I did.
I could care less if I went out there and shot big numbers either. Yeah. I mean, because everybody who knows me knows I can play golf. The ego part isn't the problem. It's just I just want to do it because, you know, I've been teaching for so long now that it's something that I've always had a drive for. It's like, you know, how many times do you go out and you're trying to actually hit balls and someone comes over and is like, hey, John, can you check my swing out? I'm like, bro, even on my day off.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, dude, check this out. It's you never get a second to yourself. I mean, that's what we ask for, and we don't mind it. But the fact is, you don't get a chance to do anything yourself.
Well, that's the thing. You know, that does happen. I know what you mean. So that's why I go to Westlake Golf Course to go hit balls at times. And you can just go over to Angeles National, over to my course, and just go to the corner, dude. Ain't nobody gonna bother you.
I love it.
We just got to switch it up. We got to switch it up.
You guys should switch it up.
So, you know, you went caddying at Sherwood, right? You used to caddy at Sherwood. How did that play into where you're teaching today, and how did that all kind of lead into anything?
Okay, so when I was, funny story. So I started caddying at 26 to like 28, and I was caddying for, you know, Tony Tesoro, which, if you guys know, the best golfer ever, Frank Tesoro, Aaron Smith. That his dad is the one that I caddied for. So I knew Frank when he was like 14, and I was 26, 27. So yeah, probably about that age. And so I've known Frank forever. And so I used to work for his dad, and next thing you know, he'd be playing tournaments, and, you know, I'd help him. And the next thing you know, he started doing well. So other guys there were like, dude, let me take him. And they were paying more, so I went where the money was at. So finally, I met Janet Gretzky, and Janet Gretzky's like, hey, why don't you teach, you know, my kid? And I was like, all right. So it was Ty Gretzky. And I started teaching Ty, And well, you remember JT Cohat too, right?
Dude, I was just gonna say that was really
JT
the
Cohat.
first
So
time I heard about
he lived with me. He was my roommate, actually, my only roommate.
you. Really?
Because I had another one at the time, and when I was 27, 28, and he was going to guy DA Russell, and the next thing you know, he started going to me, and then I was working with Janet and him. And Janet's like, start working with my kids. And the next thing you know, I was teaching at Moore Park. I needed a place to coach. I was teaching at Moore Park College.
Oh,
And
I thought you were at Westlake the whole time, dude.
nah, I didn't get to Westlake till 2005.
Really?
So I started teaching. Then Janet would come out and she'd be like, and then I'd go to gamble. She'd go everywhere. Michael Jordan's tournament, everywhere. So she'd take me everywhere. Finally, she's like, I'm not coming to Westlake or to Moore Park. This place sucks. She's like, I'm going to Westlake. And I'm like, you can't get it. I can't get a job there. They got 10 pros there. She's like, I can get you a job there. I'm all, no, you can't. So I'm in the middle of a lesson. She's calling me. And I'm all right. I look. I said, excuse me. And I answer. I never answer my phone in a call. I know, what do you call it? I'm all, what's up? She's all, get your ass over here right now. Give the guy back his money. I'm all, what are you talking about? I'm giving a lesson. She's like, cancel everything. I'm getting you a job at Westlake. I'm like, all right, hey, listen. I pulled out $100 out of my pocket, and I gave him a free lesson from where I was at, and I gave him $100, and I said, I apologize. I said, I got to go. So the next thing you know, I'm sitting in Westlake with Janet, and she's like, Wayne, get over here. Get over here. So Wayne didn't show up. Wayne's like, I can't come over here. But she's like, Wayne's going to be here. I'm going to practice. He's got a bunch of clientele, which I didn't have a bunch then. I had probably 10, 15 people. And that was in like 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there. I forgot. And she got me the job.
Really?
So I was like, oh, yeah, obviously, she's like, we're going to all come out and practice. So basically, that's how I cheated the system right there to get out. And the next thing you know, I started teaching a bunch of kids from Westlake. And, it just went from there. I was at Westlake. I've been in Westlake ever since.
How long did it take till you started building your book there?
I was booked by 2008. I was fully booked 40 hours. Yeah. It was fairly like quick there. And then, I started getting remember Westlake High, how good they were.
Yeah. So
let's see, Wolf was a freshman when they won their first one. Spencer Sussman was a sophomore. So if Wolf's 21 now, 18, 19, 20. So that was 8 years ago. So when he was a freshman, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 7 years ago when I first met Wolf. So what was that, 2013?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's when it started getting – I mean, I was already getting kind of crazy at like 2010 to 13 was just randoms all over.
Yeah.
And 13, 14, 15 was pretty crazy. And I started seeing Sung Kang, I believe, in 2015 or 16. That's when things really started changing. I mean, people say all the time, Wolf like made you. And I was like, you have no idea how long I've been coaching. You're tripping.
I know how long that's been.
You're tripping. Maybe he put me better on the map because he did. He definitely helped my business. I love Wolf to death. I obviously helped his business. So there's a two-way street. He didn't come to me looking like that, exactly like that. I'm sorry, but he didn't. And then I would say Spencer Sussman helped my business. JT Cohat helped my business a lot. I would say Sung Kang hugely helped my business when he first came on. I would say, I mean, he was my first PGA Tour win. People don't know that. They think Wolf was my first win, but Sung Kang was my first PGA Tour win.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So
that is cool, man. That's something there, dude. You're taking these guys that have never won, you're changing their lives, and at the same time they're changing your life too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I tell everybody all the time. I said, we can't do it alone. No one can do anything alone. Yeah. Everybody's made by a player. I mean, it's like people go, oh, you got top. I mean, you were made by this guy or this guy or this guy. Well, a lot of people, are made by one player or two players or three or four, and then they get more and more and more. It's one of those things now to where people don't know it, but I've got about 13 guys on tour right now. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on the PGA, or 6, about 6 on
The LPGA.
the corn,
Okay.
1 on the LPGA, and then I got some on the European. So I mean, and Japanese tour, but a lot of them I don't put on social media.
Yeah, dude.
I don't. I just don't. But I just know who doesn't care and who does. You know what I mean? You know how that is.
Oh yeah, dude. There's been those times where you do the lessons and just do your job and that's it.
Son loves it. I mean,
If
someone's yelling Scooby in the crowd, he doesn't give a shit. Nor does like Danny Lee. Like certain players would be like, bro, shut the fuck up. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But they don't care. Son's like in the middle of a tournament. He's like, someone's like, hey, Scooby, and he just goes.
He lives it up, dude.
He doesn't give a shit, and Danny Lee doesn't give a shit either. Danny Lee's the best. Danny Lee's hilarious.
Hey, can we get some hearts if you guys want to see Gigi on the Champions Tour? Light this thing up real quick.
Oh,
On the Champions Tour, dog. Hey, that makes you a boomer.
A what?
That makes you a boomer.
A baby boomer? Well, how old are you right now? Look at these guys hearting it up, bro. I didn't know you could even do that, bro.
Dog, I taught you something, dude. Look at him light it up, dude.
Wow, bro. That's a funny. How are they doing that, bro? Am I this old that I didn't know? Scooby, look at Akshay's on here. You got Akshay on your thing? He's famous.
Dude, we got all the homies in the house right now, dude.
Bob Grissett. Bob Grissett's cool, bro. You don't know that I like him, but I like Bob Grissett. He's cool. What's up, Marky Mark? Mark Unthal's on here. Hello, country.
Let's give some love, Bobby.
Yeah, how did you learn the psychology of the game? Because, well, I was a psychology major, first off, and I didn't learn shit. But I got my degree, my bachelor's in psychology, and people don't realize it, but I got the flinches and chipping shit for like 5 years, and I got out of them. And it's funny because people say once you get them, you can't get out of them. But that's one of the main reasons that I've read every sports psychology book on the planet and any mental game stuff. And so when people go, oh, I learned this from my mental coach, or I'm like, bro, it's like I like legit, I've been studying mental shit for 30 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize, that I talk to my players a lot about mental game. They're like, dude, I'm scared off the first tee. Why the fuck you scared off the first tee? Well, and then they'll tell me, and then I'll tell them how to not be scared off the first tee. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So those are the things that I talk to all my players about. I find out how many of my kids are in their head all day. I can tell them to look up at the mountain and say, hey, go look at the mountain and hear sounds and feel the wind on you. And I go, how many times you done that? Never. I'm like, what the fuck? This kid's fucking in his head. I mean, so there's kids that, as you know, they don't get out of their head. Yeah. So the mental part of it's fun for me. All of that's real fun.
And I know that that's something that's probably like I said, everybody sees the swing and all that stuff, and we could have done that. I think it's just played out, honestly. You know what I mean? We all know what you do, and you're good at it. But I don't think people know about, like, how good you are about the mental side and, like, preparing people on the long term.
Coaching. That's my first love. I mean, to be honest, if you look at, like, I had a guy, Daniel Jones, which you probably don't know, but Daniel Jones couldn't even play golf. He was a surfer. Timmy Curran, surfer. Nathaniel Curran. I taught those guys for, like, I was just out there for like 6 months, and I made them all scratch players from never hitting a golf ball. Noah Erickson he couldn't break 100, bro. I got all those guys to shoot 70s or scratch players, every single one of them. Timmy Curran, probably not. He got down to probably about 6 or 5, but he was one of the best surfers in the world. Nathaniel Curran could shoot under par. He won the U.S. Open in surfing. So these guys, being surfers, yeah, it's talented, but I would hang out with a bunch of surfers because they had time off. Yeah. And this is before I started even teaching, that I could get people good at golf, playing golf, because that's what the first thing that I knew how to do is, you know, how to score.
Yeah.
And it's not from mechanics.
Right.
It's not mechanics. It's just that I somehow, you know, being a golf nerd and wanting to know everything about a golf swing, started realizing, hey, I can create more speed. Oh, I can shot the shot this way. Oh, I can create more rotation this way. I could do this from this, or I can match this up. So it started getting to where I could figure certain things out because, you know, figuring out shot patterns missing one way, how to practice, you know, mentally what's going on, you know, how to prepare, you know, all the things like playing like games all the time. And that's what every tour player does, by the way. People don't realize it, but the guys on tour are not coaching. They're coaching, but they're not giving mechanics.
Right.
They're coaching. Okay. Yep. So if you're a golf coach on the tour, you're not doing a lot of mechanics. Some are, and the ones that are fucked up. And if you're doing it on a Monday, Tuesday, you got some issues and you're trying to find some shit.
Yeah.
So the thing is that people don't realize that, you know, you're on tour working with the player. You're usually a good coach. You know what I mean? And so I don't get to do the coaching part as much as I'd like on tour, you know, and people don't know it, but Sung works with me on mechanics, but he also has, what's his name? Matt Killian, which is great.
Yeah.
He'll go out there and Matt Killian's works with him on, you know, his time. You're not allowed to practice on this many days. Stop actually working on your golf swing.
Yeah.
You go play these games on this. You know, how many times out of the bunker you're going to hit every side. That's coaching. But I love doing that. But I'm not going to be on tour coaching. And I don't want to call it babysitting. It's just not. It's not my what I want to do with it. I want to develop players, and that's my love is to make people good at golf. Not tour players to go, hey, do this drill, this drill, this drill. If a tour player asks me what's up with your golf swing, I'll be like, this shit's fucked up. Let's do this, this, this. You can still play with this. And I'll give them options, but I'll be like, okay, this is going to be the least amount of timing. This is going to be the most efficient. You know, things like that are what really drive me is mechanically for tour players. But if there is a tour player that I have to be a coach with, then I'm going to be their coach.
Yeah. I think, and I've seen you on the coaching side of things, and it's pretty impressive, folks. I mean,
I appreciate that because people don't know that. They just look at me as like, this guy just, but that's the thing is I've been doing it for so long that people don't realize it, that they think I just came out of nowhere in like 2016. And I'm like, hey, my gram started in 2014, but you didn't know I've been doing shit for a long, long time before that.
That's right. That's right. Hey, let's go back to Westlake for a second. You, and I wanted to ask you about your early influences when you were getting in the teaching game, right? Who were some of your early influences? I'm talking about other teachers or methods or systems or anything like that. Because I know you're well versed. I know we had a conversation one day, and I like asking you certain things at times because I know that you've tried everything.
Yeah. I think that's what people don't understand is when someone says, dude, you don't understand, you got to slide your hips. I'm like, motherfucker, I've been sliding my hips for years.
I've tried it. I've done
Stop
it.
your bullshit. You got to pull your hands down. Stop your bullshit. I tried that too. You got to restrict your hips. Stop talking. So these are things. I'm almost 50, bro. I'm 49 years old. And if you think I haven't heard everything by now, you're smoking crack, okay? Because I've seen and heard everything. There ain't nothing new out there. It's just, for me now, I'm trying to figure out ways for people to learn quicker, understand things faster, less mechanical, more feel-oriented, just like, okay, try this. Easier things once you have the base down. Yeah. But back to Westlake, like you said, what was your original question?
Who were some of your early influencers in teaching, and who you had a connection with somebody there that was teaching as well?
Or
growing up there.
I've never had a mentor, but the first thing that I ever read was 5 Fundamentals. Okay. So I read Ben Hogan. I think everybody read that. Then I read all David Ledbetter's books. Yeah. And then from there, I watched a lot of videos. Like,
you drew on the TV.
I drew on my dad's screen. I ruined a lot of TVs with non-erasable ink.
Yeah. I used to put some,
trying to figure out like I used to watch what's his name? Nick Faldo.
okay,
Was my favorite till I met him in person. And then I was like, whatever. So I ain't gonna talk shit about Faldo. He's a legend.
Yeah.
So the fact is that like I would draw lines and I'd be like, okay, his elbow's on this line, his hands are here, his left arm's parallel, and I'd go through it and his arm was pinched. And then I went through stuff like back in the day where I was like, am I gonna be Ben Hogan or am I gonna be Sam Snead? Ben Hogan, Sam Snead. And then every time I would go Ben Hogan, and I love Ben Hogan, by the way.
Yeah.
I love his rotation. I love his extension through the ball. I love how he shallows it, his rotation through the bottom. But I didn't like how his arm was tucked like this compared to like this. And the only reason I didn't is people would ask me all the time, well, this is more consistent. I'm all, motherfucker, I lose 10 miles per hour doing that. Quit fucking telling me what's better. Okay. If I can hit it 40 yards further or 30 yards further because my arm's here compared to here, and that's not internal, that's just abduction and my arm's raised. Okay.
Yeah.
So the fact is, and that's not crossed either. I have form rotation. I can go wherever I want with that without having to pinch my arm down. Okay.
You can change the pattern however you want.
Absolutely. It's like almost like, first time I met Danny Lee, he's like, I said, get your arm here. It's pinched. I said, you're losing too much speed. And he goes, I don't want to be crossed. I said, well, go like this then. He's like, oh, okay. And he was going like this. He's like, no, the only way is this way. And I'm like, no, it's not. Just turn your forearm and you're fine. And he goes, oh shit. And I'm like, yeah, oh shit. You're losing a lot of speed. So as soon as I went to watch like Sam Snead and Hogan, I was confused. And I just said, fuck it. I like this because it's so much more speed. So finally, I was like, all right, that's one of my main baselines is that my arm cannot be tucked. Yeah. And then I'd watch like Mac O'Grady, who's a legend, and all my buddies went to Mac O'Grady, and he's a legend, and all of their arms were tucked. And I was like, I loved everything about it, but I was like, fuck that arm shit. That's what I would say. And then I hear BJ left Mac O'Grady because he wanted him to tuck his arm. And I knew why, because it's a huge speed loss. So the fact is that doesn't mean this is wrong, by the way. But if you think you're going to be a top 10 player in the world with your arm like that, you better be a fucking giant, okay? You better be 6'4", and you better be a fucking stud because you ain't going to win shit with your arm tucked. Sorry, you ain't going to throw a football and win nothing either like this, okay? Your arm's up and you throw footballs, you do sports like that, okay? It's like
that's a G nugget. Like that's a G nugget right there, guys.
There you go. You ain't gonna be a top player in the world. You can, if you're a big boy, you can afford. If you're Brooks Koepka, you can keep your arm tucked. If you're female, you can keep your arm tucked. But all you other motherfuckers, you ain't got your arm tucked because you ain't got enough speed. All right, get that shit up. Kick a field goal, as Teddy would say every day. Cactus. Teddy Lehman. He says cactus every fucking day. And I want to kill that motherfucker. He's like, cactus. I love that guy. Isn't he funny? Cactus. So back to the point. So they start talking, or what do you call it? So it was between those two. Those were my studies. And I never had anybody that I could really call. I was like, fuck, I got to learn this shit by myself. So I just research it, keep it to myself. Couldn't talk to anybody about it. But I was helping people in the meantime. And everybody's like, how do you know so much? Because I'm fucked up. That's why psychologists know so much, because they're fucked up. I was like, everything's all fucked up. So everything nothing came easy. You're swinging the dope right out of the womb. My shit was fucked up. It was like I was turning early, I was crossed, everything was all whacked out. So without having, I don't want to make excuses, but, I didn't have money for lessons.
Yeah.
And so not having money for lessons, my swing was jacked, so I had to figure the shit out myself. And I ran into probably in 2010 or 2000 and let's see, 7, 8, maybe not even earlier. 2001, 2, 3, probably 2001 or 2. I ran into Como.
Okay.
And Como didn't know shit then. And so Como was like doing the bunker. I mean, he was raking picking the range at Westlake. And so we would talk about shit and he'd come up with this, but Meanwhile, Como's going to every coach in the world and studying under him.
He's grinding.
He's grinding mad
Yeah.
knowledge. Yeah. Mad knowledge. And I was like, dude, that shit's fucking whacked. That's whacked. But he was smart because he would go to every coach and figure shit out.
Yeah.
And he never judged. He just fucking processed. He said, that's the garbage. He was never judgmental. That's what I love about Como, is that's garbage. Like,
maybe
that's success.
Yeah.
You know, if someone could stick their arm like this in their ass and fucking shoot under par, do it. You know what I mean? It's like I always say, listen, if Steph Curry was sticking basketballs in his ass and throwing them and making them, kids are going to copy. You know what I mean? People always copy the number one player.
Yeah.
And the number one player is never the best technique, ever. Okay?
Yeah.
So you guys understand, when you guys copy technique, understand people are really good at something, not because of always their technique. It's their mind. It's how they know how to play golf. They have different shot patterns. They can flight it.
You see this, but something else is happening over there. Yeah.
People don't get what makes somebody really, really good. It's like the misconception of, if I get my swing right and I hit it straight, I can hit every green. No, then you're stuck in a fucking right down the middle and you're stuck in a divot. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a different situation in golf, and the thing is, it's like life. You've got to figure out that nothing's going to be easy. The guys who can handle the fucking ups and downs and the shit that's coming at them the best when shit hits the fan are the guys who are the best, period.
It is, like you said, within life also. It's just the ones that can handle adversity are the ones, I mean.
Like a rich kid stubbing their foot for the first time or having something happen. It's the end of the world. When some kid's living in the fucking hood, and they have some shit, it's like, shit, seen it every day. I don't give a shit. Nothing phases them. They've seen it.
And I see it still with you to this day, because I know not everybody knows how busy you are behind the scenes and all that stuff. But, you know, every time I call you or something like that, it's like, all right, dude, it's all good. I can handle this. You've never had any issues with that, you know, and I think that's kind of been part of your success as well.
Well, I love what I do, first and foremost. I love helping people. You know, I had a kid the other day got pissed because, you know, I didn't get back to him on his online lesson. He felt like I cheated him out of his online lesson.
Yeah.
And because I say I'll get back to you in a week, but, dude, I'm fucking slammed, okay? Yeah. And this is before, and I'm like, bro, I'm just going to give you your money back, blah, blah, blah. I've never had a complaint on a lesson or an online lesson ever in my life. And I'm going to be really honest with you. And this kid was like, I felt bad. I was like, bro, you got a good-ass fucking lesson. Your swing looks sick, and you're playing better. He's all, that's bullshit. He was super mad about the fact that I didn't get back to him. But he doesn't realize that how busy I am. And I don't want to sit here and say that not everybody's busy, because everybody's got their own busies, but I'm fucking busy. You know how many podcasts I've done this week?
I know.
Fuck. It's incredible. And I love everybody. It's like, people are calling me right now, can you do my da-da-da? And I'm like, dude, I want to be a dick and say, no, I'll do your podcast. But the fact is, realistically, this is a time where most people are not busy, but you can't forget, I got a membership. I'm trying to make everybody happy.
Talk about
I'm also doing online lessons, you know, and I'm also like legit trying to sneak onto golf courses too. Don't forget that shit.
It needs time, dog. It needs time. You can't rush this.
So what are we saying now?
So, you know, we were talking about Como, and sort of that's where we were getting.
Oh, my influencers. I never even finished that. Let me finish real quick. Sorry, I'm running long. Okay, so Como and I have been really good friends for quite a long time. I consider him a good friend. I don't know if he'd consider me a good friend, but I love Como. Como's weird as fuck, but he's smart as fuck. One of the best, smartest guys on the planet. People don't know that. I think he got a bad rap from Tiger, like like Tiger left him, but that motherfucker's smart. And if you think he doesn't know shit, you're tripping. If you think that he doesn't know what you think you know, you're tripping. And he just is so, like, he's just so nonchalant about it that he's not going to bust somebody's balls when he thinks something's wrong. He's just a good dude.
Yeah.
And so if there's anything that I've ever had a question about, whether, you know, it's, you know, how fast the arms travel, how fast the body travel, you know, certain science stuff, not a lot of mechanic stuff. I figured that shit on my own.
Yeah.
But like certain things where I need numbers,
Yeah.
he's my guy.
That's pretty dope, dude. To have somebody like that, that could be your guy.
Yeah, he's my guy when it comes to that. But I never had a mentor. But there's guys that I think are really, really good at what they do. And
I'll sound some names.
oh shit, I mean, your boy Scotty, I think's dope.
Yeah. Shout out Scott Cox.
Yeah, he's dope. He gets his shit done. I think, you know, Jeff Smith gets his shit. Mayo gets the shit. I think all my guys on my team, Jack Kim, you get your shit. I think Jake Gilmore gets his shit. I would say, who else would I say that really, I mean, I don't want to offend anybody either because there's a lot of names that I'm going to miss.
Yeah.
I would say Dana Dahlquist, really good. I would say there's a lot of guys that we don't know about, which is sad.
Boyd Summerhays.
Boyd's my boy. I'm sorry, Boyd. I love you. Boyd, Chris Mason, great coach. Great coach. I'm telling you, there's a shit ton of guys out there that are really, really good that I'm going to forget. I would say, shit. I can't forget this. My boy, God, I'm forgetting his name right now. I'll think of it in a second, and I'm gonna come back to it.
Scotty Hamilton, dude. He knows
Scotty's cool. I love Scotty. Scotty's dope.
Scotty,
I think one of the best coaches that doesn't get credit is Lucas Wald. Lucas Wald is most people don't even know who Lucas Wald is, but that motherfucker's smart. And his boy Calvin Mahara, who unfortunately had some issues, is smart as fuck too. And I think Calvin doesn't get credit for being one of the smartest dudes on the planet when it comes to golf instruction.
Yeah.
And he probably never will, but he should. I would say
Mark Blackburn, shout out.
Those guys are some dope ass coaches. Those guys are fucking great.
I got Mark coming on Saturday, and Drew's been on me.
Those are two of the sweetest guys on tour. Mark's fucking a sweetheart of a dude. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I've always loved Drew. Drew's been always a gentleman, fucking great, mellow, cool. But I'm sure I've missed some guys out there, and no disrespect, there's a shit ton of you out there that are phenomenal that aren't on a top 100 list. Like Lucas Wald isn't on a top 100 list, and that's a fucking shame. And I think Brandel Chambly, I love Brandel Chambly. People don't know it because you guys all think he's a fucking dick, but he's not. He's actually, if you meet him in person, he's more of a gentleman than anybody that I've ever met in the golf business. He just will not let you slide. Where I see something and I don't like it,